and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food, plant-based experience. My name is Joshua Stanier. I'm joined by my wonderful wife and co-host Catherine Stanier, and we're very much appreciating you being here today. We're excited to share this recipe with you and eat some real good plant-based food. So Catherine, what's on the menu today?
So today we are making you a hyper-nourishing, super easy, versatile smoothie bowl, and we call it the Midwest Bali Bowl. And we call it a Midwest Bali Bowl because a lot of the ingredients that you can find in the bowl can be sourced in the Midwest, but the Bali part of it is a lot of the foods that are going to be in it are harvested from tropical areas like Bali. And when you go to these tropical places like Bali, there's always a smoothie bowl, isn't there?
Yeah, and this is something that I started to notice when I was traveling for a number of years, is the smoothie bowl hype started to build up, and when I started to eat them regularly, there's just something about it. When you see it visually, I think it looks very healthy, and when you digest it and eat it, I really started to enjoy it, have it daily. And then when I moved back home to England at the time, but now America, it's not something that's super common here, and I kind of missed it, so we decided to figure out a way to incorporate this into our lives every day. And that's what we do. We have this as our first meal of every day. It's our go-to, and we're excited to share it. That's why we call it the Midwest Bali Bowl. It's like a hybrid of both of our experiences. So, do you want to talk about why we love smoothie bowls?
Well, we love making smoothie bowls at home specifically because when you go out to some nice cafes, they can be a bit expensive and the amount of ingredients are limited to whatever they want to provide for you. Whereas at home, you can make it versatile. You could put whatever you want to in it. We're just giving one rendition of it, but if you look at the picture on the recipe, it's a different rendition of it. So different fruits, different vegetables, different toppings, all can be mixed together to make it what it is a smoothie bowl. Another reason, besides the combinations being unlimited, is you can't get it wrong. You just put it in a blender, it tastes good. Chances are it's fruit, so mixed fruit together always tastes good. And another reason we love smoothie bowls is because they are raw, and we believe in eating raw foods, especially when starting your day.
Yeah, and I imagine it kind of like starting a fire. If you started off with the really big logs, you wouldn't really be able to get it going. And our bodies are similar in that way, that we've been asleep the whole night, our metabolic processes have slowed down. If we start the day with a really heavy, hard to digest food, it can kind of like slow us down, and that's why often you wake up tired and then you eat and then you get more tired. It's because your body has so much work to do, whereas eating raw like this is kind of like putting tinder on the fire first. You can build that flame, get your body going, and what you'll probably find is if you incorporate this in the morning, your digestion will improve, and then as you eat throughout the day, you'll feel more full rather than just feeling slowed and weighed down. So it's really something that I would highly recommend experimenting with, especially when you get in the rhythm of doing it. We notice a big difference, and that's why we do it every day. And then obviously with the raw aspect as well, it's still got the enzymes intact, which makes all metabolic processes more efficient, and it gives you more energy, more focus. It's all around just a lot easier to just function as a human, we find, if you eat raw, at least for some aspect of your day, maybe not every single meal. Anything else you want to add on to the raw aspect?
Well, eating raw, like we said before, improves digestion and it helps with weight management. For people that need to gain weight, like my husband, he started gaining weight when he was eating raw. Whereas other people, if they feel like they need to lose weight, when they go raw, they actually lose weight. So it's kind of a diet that changes your body based on what your body needs. It's an intuitive diet somehow. It's fascinating how it works, but your body knows what to do when it has raw food in it. And so that's why we love it. We make it our first meal of the day, as he explained. And I think that's all that I want to talk about.
I think we'll get into it. So what we're going to show you is kind of like the principles of making. This is a high-speed blender. Highly recommend getting one. There are various name brands available. This is just the one that we have here today. And we're just going to take you through the principles because these are super versatile. You can mix this up, but the principles will remain the same. And if you stick to those, it will work out well. So we always start off with leafy greens. We've got here kale and spinach. So do you want to get those in and tell us a little bit about the benefits of having leafy greens?
Yeah, so leafy greens is the first local ingredient of the Midwest Bali Bowl. So I'm not quite sure where these greens were harvested specifically, but I know that we can grow spinach and kale here in the Midwest. As well as if you eat wild greens like dandelions, you can incorporate that into your smoothie in the morning. But we like to start with spinach because spinach has the high in the iron, and the kale as well. Both of these are surprisingly packed with protein, so it helps with muscle building and muscle function. If you think about like giraffes and gorillas and panda bears, you know, when they're munching on the greens, they're strong, they can pull themselves up and build their muscle. And so we usually associate protein building with meat, but actually leafy greens are very important for muscle function as well.
And if you struggle to eat leafy greens like this, like just eating these by themselves is kind of not that appealing to most people, myself included. But if you are looking to add this into your diet, getting them in a smoothie like this, as soon as this is blended up, you're not even going to know they're there. So you get all the benefits without, not necessarily the taste for me, it's like the texture. Kale I find difficult to chew, but you blend it all up, you don't even know it's in there. So it's kind of like a nice way to get them into your diet.
So we put about 2 cups of kale, 2 cups of spinach in here. That's like a normal amount for us, to just the 2 of us. So, because you want to be packing this with as much greens as you possibly can. And then the next ingredient we're going to be adding is frozen strawberry and banana mixture. Frozen bananas are highly recommended for smoothie bowls. That's what gives it that thick creaminess that you can pack toppings on top of. So we always freeze our bananas ahead of time.
Bananas have a lot of potassium in them, and the strawberries are considered a superfood for various reasons. But if you look at the strawberry and any of the fruits that have the seeds on the outside, so you'll see it on strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, usually the softer dark fruits like that, they have a lot of anti-cancer properties. There's a lot of research showing that those specific food groups are really, really good for anti-cancer properties. So if you can get those again in your diet, focus on the ones with the seeds on the outside. It's like you know what it does like intuitively. And again, this is just an easy way to eat them. And freezing them like this means that you can store them. So I don't know if anybody did this during June, during strawberry season here in the Midwest, but you can just buy all of the cheap organic strawberries, freeze them all, and then have them in your freezer for really an indefinite period of time. And it's good to do that throughout the year, you know, keep stocked up. So you don't have to keep relying on the stores like this. This is obviously fine. And you can use fresh if needed. It doesn't have to be frozen. That's just more for texture.
Yeah.
Get them in there.
It's serving for 2, so I'm just gonna get that in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the strawberries, local again. Bananas, not local. That's a tropical fruit, but as well as bananas are important for carbohydrates and digestion. So the bananas will fill you up and allow you to last longer in terms of a fulfilling meal that will get you to lunch.
So this is frozen acai. Has a very unique flavor. You might not be able to taste it specifically in the smoothie, but it kind of tastes like chocolate. I don't really know why that is, but if you just dip it a little bit in, it does taste like dark chocolate. Again, a super antioxidant food, and that's going to be the common theme of this. We're going to talk about antioxidants in a minute. But this is a tropical fruit. I don't know too much about it, I just know that it's very good for you and it's tasty, so I'm going to get that in there.
Yeah.
That's frozen as well.
Yeah, it comes in these nice packets that you can get pre-frozen at the store.
Yep. Next up, this is frozen coconut cream, or is this coconut milk?
It's coconut pulp, it's everything.
It's everything.
Coconut.
Well, tell us about coconuts. You're a big coconut fan, aren't you?
I love coconuts. So coconuts is how you get your healthy fats, and it's shown that coconut helps with your brain health and your cognitive ability. So having coconut 3 ways today. So we're gonna have it here, we're gonna have it in the coconut milk, and we're gonna have it in coconut shreds. So you're starting your day with as much brain power as you possibly can with this smoothie bowl, which we love. And the oils and the fats are important for sustaining energy past just the morning as well.
Yep. Very filling, and you can also use it on your skin if you have any left over, which is all. It's the gift that keeps on giving as a coconut. That's the truth. What's next?
Okay, so we talked about that.
Start with chia seeds.
And flax seeds.
You can see this.
So, are you guys familiar with chia and flax seeds?
No, go through it.
They're a common ingredient in the plant-based eating because of the essential fatty acids they provide. So essential fatty acids are good for your nervous system, and they are actually shown to be linked with mental health, which is exciting. The way that it supports the brain and the nervous system just with these small bits is really great. And the flaxseed as well is a great source of fiber and those essential fatty acids. So we just add that in there, so then you're starting your day off with what's essential. They wouldn't call it essential fatty acids if they weren't essential for your bodily functions.
Yeah, and your body can't produce these by itself, so you need to add them into your diet. And really on a plant-based diet, flaxseed and chia seeds is the main way that we're going to get those essential fatty acids. Coconut has them in, but they're slightly different versions of them. So having all three really covers all bases. And these are good things. What you'll probably see here, it looks like a lot of ingredients that you're putting into just one smoothie. But you just buy this once, like you buy this one bag and then it can sit in your cupboard until you use it. So it actually works out, if you work out the cost per smoothie bowl, it's actually not as high. It's just that initial investment that you got to kind of factor in. But then these things are evergreen as they were, you just keep using them and they do last a good amount of time, don't they? And they're very affordable, so. Mm-hmm. And then last up, we've got more coconut.
No, that goes on top.
Oh, it goes on top?
Yeah, we're done
well,
now.
Plot twist. It's a plot twist.
Yeah, so now we just add liquid.
Is it coconut?
It is coconut.
No, that's all that matters.
So this is a pre-made coconut milk, but you can actually find coconuts at health food stores. And it's a little bit more of an extra effort to drill a hole, get the coconut water, but the coconut water is super hydrating and delicious and nourishing. And then you have to freeze the coconut and scoop it out. It's a bit of an effort, but there's also easier options where you can make plant-based milks at home with coconut shreds and oats with something called Almond cow milk maker. That's what we use at home to make our own plant-based milks, because when you're getting these from the store, the ingredient list can be kind of long and you're just like, what is actually in this? I don't understand. I thought this was just coconuts. So there are pure options at the store that you can find, but making it home, cheaper, easier. Just for here and demonstration's sake, we are going to be using this pre-made version.
Yeah.
So
give it a shake.
I thought I did just shake it.
Extra shake.
So you can safely put at least a cup in or two, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
you just don't want to overdo it right away with the liquid, because you want to make sure you get like that thicker bowl that you can put other toppings on top.
Yeah, and you can adjust the consistency to suit your own personal preference as well as you go through the smoothie bowl journey, in a sense of, I like it thick. Some people like it thin, all tastes are good.
Sometimes we don't even use milk. Sometimes we just use water. Like this can sometimes be an extra ingredient that you're like, oh, well, I don't want to spend the money on coconut milk this week.
And then we're going to blend this, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be blending.
Break where we blend.
We've never used this before.
We've never used this blender before.
A few moments later.
All right, give it a pour. Yeah, that's very thick. And then for toppings, again, this is kind of like where creativity can come into this. You can just choose, find your own flavor profiles. We're going to top this today with
frozen blueberries, another local ingredient of the Midwest. And these ones even say that they're wild on it, which is cool. Do you want to talk about why it's important to eat local for a minute, or? Yeah,
we can do, yeah. So there's multiple reasons. Firstly, for environmental purposes, if food isn't traveling as far, it means that there's just less emissions, less gas, less waste, less storage. Like, I love the global food network, but if you can keep it local, it does reduce that, which is never a bad thing. On top of that, you've got the benefits for your body. So when food grows in the local area, it has the same biome as what we have. So when we interact with that food, it's easier for us to digest. It's easier for us to process as well. So that's why if you ever go abroad and you eat a meal that wasn't necessarily undercooked or not right, you still get sick. That's because your biome, like your being, is interacting with a brand new environment that it doesn't understand, and that's why you get sick. So if you bring that back home and this stuff is growing around you, you'll just feel a whole lot better for it. Oh, and you get to support local farmers, local producers as well, which is always good,
Oh yeah.
So rather than it be somebody that you've never seen, bringing it back local is nice.
It is nice.
And the process of growing your own food is very, very therapeutic.
Well, we use frozen blueberries on top of ours, but you can obviously just use
Fresh.
The frozen is because they last longer, and they're not that hard to chew. Like you would think that they would be rock hard, but they're definitely not.
Yeah.
So you give a good layer of that. And then we top it off with another banana. You don't have to do this. This is just something that we like to do. And the way that I like to cut my bananas is really easy. Like you don't even have to get a chopping board dirty. You just like cut it lengthwise, and then you just slice this way and just kind of distribute it. I find this is just the easiest way to cut a banana, because when you take it out of the sleeve, it just kind of gets everywhere, and then you have to pick it up again and whatever.
And if I'm preparing this bowl at this stage, I've lost patience with the presentation and I'm just getting it on as fast as possible, which Catherine doesn't overly appreciate, so I just break it up with my hands. So you can kind of take your own spin on this, and there's no right or wrong answer. That looks really good, that.
We are going to top it with the
more coconut.
The coconut shreds are good just for texture as well, just to change up the texture that you're getting
Oh yeah.
from the ball.
That looks good, that.
Awesome. And then
Get them dates on there.
dates. So they have a lot of natural, well, they are just like pure natural sugar. I don't know if you've ever eaten a date before, but it tastes just like candy. So it's remarkable that these are good for you. They have iron in them, and they help with bones. And then if you are someone who has diabetes, I don't want to say like this is a good sugar to have, but I think it technically is.
It can satiate the cravings for sure.
Yeah. So we just chop ours up into bite-sized pieces, so then you can get more dates per bite. Like if you just don't do this, then you don't get to enjoy the gooey deliciousness in each bite like I like to enjoy.
Kate takes a lot of time with the presentation. I would already be halfway through this, wouldn't I?
Yeah. This one's massive. Maybe we can just share this one.
Yeah,
It's like dessert for breakfast.
Are you putting all of them on there? That was,
I thought I was supposed to. Okay, and then another texture change that we like to add is the cashews. The cashews are a protein source that you can get on there. They taste delicious, and more fats to get you through your morning. And then last but not least, we are going to make a almond butter honey drizzle to put on top of it. So almond butter is it's one of our favorites, but it can be a bit more pricey. You can also use tahini, you could use cashew butter, you could use sunflower butter, whatever you can find. Some people just like peanut butter, but I can't personally eat peanut butter, so I rule that one out.
Yeah. And then local honey has various benefits too. You also get to support local beehives, which is always a really good thing, but it's antibacterial. It's also good for processing toxins out of your body, which in the world that we live in is more common than I guess we would all like, but honey helps with that. And I've also heard before that if you have hay fever or any allergies, eating local honey, because the bees take the pollen, then you eat the pollen from the bees, it's supposed to help with that. I don't know if that's just an old wives' tale or a myth, but I don't have hay fever anymore and I eat a lot of honey, so there may be something to that. Who knows? It's worth testing. And it just tastes really good. As a sweetener, honey is easily my favourite. I prefer it to maple syrup as well, and it's kind of like less guilt. What's going on? Is it just thick?
Yeah, it's just thick. This one's actually local to Michiana as well, this brand. You can find it at stores locally here.
Yeah.
This says product of American Midwest.
Oh, lovely. Midwest Bali Bowl. It's on brand, isn't it?
Yeah. Add more milk or water.
Is that more coconut?
Oh.
It should be the Midwest Coconut Bowl.
We do look like that. I'll admit it. So that honey and almond butter, which you saw was like super thick, is now a creamy dressing to drizzle on.
Yeah.
That will add more sweetness and deliciousness to this. Go on, drizzle. Awesome.
That looks good. Oh yeah, that's nice. That. I never really even watched you do this. Isn't that
You're always
crazy?
distracting yourself because you have to wait. Okay, so there you have it, the Midwest Bali Bowl. Beautiful. And we hope that you learned some important information about this bowl. The last thing that we want to touch on it, as Joshua said, the theme of the ingredients is antioxidants. So you look at this bowl and it looks like, how could that be healthy for you? But we just explained all the health benefits.
Really, I think that looks intuitively that looks healthy.
That looks like dessert to me. I'm like, oh, that's such a sweet treat of deliciousness. So, because like usually people associate healthy just with salads or other green things. But there are the greens in there, but there's a lot of other beneficial things in it. And the antioxidant theme of the ingredients is oxidative stress is happening to us constantly. You know, if you start your day with a coffee, that's oxidative stress. If you drive a car, get stuck in traffic, that's oxidative stress. Relationships, jobs, that stresses out your body, it stresses out your cells. So your body is constantly looking for relief from this oxidative stress. So by incorporating antioxidant ingredients into your diet, you slow down your aging, because why age faster than you need to, and you just feel better. You feel like you have more energy, you feel less stressed, and your body can function better. So.
Yeah, and this is a really good way to get a lot of antioxidants. Pretty much every ingredient here has antioxidant properties, like at least 90%, and it's tasty. You'll digest it really fast, and I really highly recommend eating smoothie bowls as much as possible.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for helping me present. And then let's continue to feel better eating. Much love, everybody. Peace.